Habits are a double-edged sword. Bad habits can cut you down just as easily as good habits can build you up, which is why understanding the details is crucial. You need to know how habits work and how to design them to your liking, so you can avoid the dangerous half of the blade. Your habits can compound for you or against you.
All right, everyone, I welcome you all. Let me see, am I audible? Yes. Excellent. I welcome you to today's book club. Hello, everybody. Hi, Francis. Hello, Agnes. Thanks for joining. Heidi, nice to see you. Irene, Tokbe. Oh, I'm glad you made it. Excellent. I'm really glad you made it because this book is going to go. We're going to talk about, when we talk next time, Tokbe, we're going to talk about how this will impact what you're currently working on right now. So it's amazing. I'm really glad you could make it. All right. Yes. All righty. It's going to be an amazing few weeks going through this because I was going through the book and I'm like, wow. I'm about to see because from what I gathered from the book so far, it's not about, few days changes, few weeks changes, but I'm about to see people that are embarking on a lifelong journey of life of achievement and excellence. So this, as we're going to apply it to business, it's a lifestyle and lifetime commitment. So I want to welcome you to today's book club. And the book we are reviewing, on this book club is for this starting today. We just finished, Sell Like Crazy. That goes to how, tailoring the skill as business owners. What are the skills that we have to learn to be able to be successful? And for this side right now, we're looking at mindset, and that's why we're picking this book, Atomic Habits. By the way, MD approved when he saw that I shared this on my status. He reached out and recommended another book, which I feel will be another amazing one, by the time we go around back to, mindset. The next book we're going to be reviewing after this is going to tailor to skill. What are the skills as business owners? The skill we're going to apply to our businesses. So right here, right now, I believe this is even, double-edged sword, really. These atomic habits it has the skill you're going to apply to your business and to your life. And it's going to reprogram you. So it's all encompassing. I really, really love it. I've been enjoying it, and I hope you have. So I'm not going to, put anybody on the spot right now, because what I wanted to ask is how many of us have started reading, but I don't want to put us on the spot, but I want to implore you, make sure you do the reading, because it's going to be very, very beneficial. As you read, you begin to implement, and as you implement, you begin to see tiny, little improvements, as we go. So today, sorry about that. So today we're going to do just the introduction. I have a video that I'm going to show us at the end that's like a summary of the whole thing at the end of this the video. Towards the end of today's session, and it's really nice. I love it. Yes, I have started reading. Irene says yes, but very few pages. I'm sure the ones you've read, you have encountered some truth that have made you think, oh my, wow, because that was what I was experiencing while I was going through this book. All right, so let's get into it. We're not going to waste any time at all. Now, one of the things that I'm going to challenge each of us to do is to, as much as possible, step up, volunteer. I'm going to, call on few people today. I'm going to nominate 3 co-presenter for next week that we're going to be reviewing together. So they're going to be reviewing chapter 1, 2, and 3 with me next week. But if you're feeling like, okay, I'm up to it, you can volunteer ahead of time. But at the end of this session, if I don't see any volunteer, I'm going to call 3 of us here. 3 of us, in the group or here, however. So please let me know if you would love to, if you want to volunteer, so I can note you down for next week, because I'm going to ensure that we all have a chance to, to do this, because when we have that additional pressure, that's why I love teaching. Because when you teach, before you teach, you have to learn. And when you're teaching it, you're learning it the second time. So it just solidifies things for you and all of that. So that's why I love it so much. But I don't do it for a living, but I found a way around that. All right, so let's get started. I want to kind of, go through the introduction part of this. If you've started reading the book, you will have got, started this portion of it, and then after that, I'll get some feedback from everyone. Yes. I'll get some, feedback. If you want to chime in, please let me know. You can chime in the chat. I'd love to hear you talk, preferably. But if you prefer, you can put in the chat. I'll read it out and we'll talk about it. So that's how it's going to go. I'm going to, go through a few things, few notes that I've noted here, and then I will share the video that I had as well for us to go over. So let me share this and then we'll go from here. From there. Excellent. So the atomic habit. The atomic habit, and the author is James Clear. And, we have a subheadings here. It says, tiny changes, remarkable results. Tiny changes, remarkable results. I mean, tiny, when you talk about atom, when you look at atom, he gave the definition here, which all of us, you've done integrated science, some form of level of science study, you've come across the word atom, right? So atomic, it says an extremely small amount of a thing, extremely small amount. I love one of the summary that I listened to says, if your goal is 20 minutes workout every day, but you're having it hard to get yourself to do it, just do 2 minutes. All right. If you plan to write, a whole page, just write 1 line. Just do something, an extremely small amount of a thing, the single irreducible unit. Like if they say, I want to walk. For you to walk, what is the minutest step that you need to take to say, I have walked today? Do it. And you do it. The power to this is consistency. Consistency. If you get yourself to walk, 10 steps every day, or every top of the hour, 10 steps every hour, you will get results over time. And then the number 2 says the source of immense energy or power. So as we go through this book, we're going to realize that the power to actually fulfill our life potential is not necessarily in the goal, the end goal. The power lies in every little habit, those habits, as we've heard, habit, your habit forms your life, right? So all of those little things, the system, he calls it the system you have in place to get you to that goal. One of the things that we struggle with that is that, or that we get caught up in, is we have that huge goal. For example, with the Untamed, I want to be director. With the Untamed, I want to be partner. With the Untamed, I'm going to Dubai. I want to go to Dubai. The goal, the big thing that we are aspiring for. And of course, with those ranks comes with the monetary goal as well. I want to hit a million naira. I want to be in the, a million naira, 7-figure earner in the company. Those are the goals. However, what a lot of us fail to do is, the beginning of the month comes, we set the goal, and then we just continues life, continue running, things just adversely. When we remember, we post. When we remember, we talk to people. And then the last week of the month, oh, wow, it's the last week of the month. I've not hit my goal. What should I do? And then you're then in the rush. What this book is going to teach us, what I will want us to begin to learn from this book and begin to implement, is the power of doing some things, some activities. Daily method of operation is what it's usually being called in the network marketing industry. Daily method of operation that every day, these are the tiny habits I'm going to do. These are the tiny things I'm going to do that's going to continue to fuel my business. So consistently doing those little things. If the industry standards say post on a day, post 5 things, do 5 posts, maybe a feed, status, do that 5 of them in a day. If you cannot do 5 to begin with, start with just 1 every single day, something like that, right? So that is the power that propels you, to energize you, to reach your goal. And then it says habits. It says a routine or practice performed regularly. It says an automatic response to a specific situation. So combining them, atomic habit, that means the single irreducible unit that for you to say, I have done this today, just do that little thing, but make it repeatable, like even automatic response. When I was going through the book, I remember when I started with, I was struggling with flossing every day. I think he made mention of, that example, like if you want to remember to floss every day, because I'm like, forget it. Why? I didn't, there's nothing in my teeth. But then I think I've read somewhere too that attach it, like stack that thing that you want to be doing every day on top of something that you would not, you can't do without. Like if I brush my teeth, is automatic. I brush my teeth every day. Now, the layer I want to put on top of that is to brush it morning and night. I'm not there yet. Brush every morning and night, right? But I know I brush my teeth every morning, right? So what I've done now is I've placed my tooth, the flossing thingy, very close to where, if I put my brush down, immediately my hand will almost be touching the flossing thing. So there was a day, these had gone on for like over 6 months, for a while then, consistently like that. It now happened for one time like that. I've been lost in the thoughts, I was just brushing my teeth, lost in my thoughts. the time I caught myself back was when I realized that I've removed the flossing thing out of my mouth. I'm like, wait a minute. I just did this automatically without even thinking about it. So my brush, pim, bam, bam, flossing. Automatically. So those are the things we want to begin to do as well for our business, that automatically we know there are things that will cue you into those things, and without even thinking about it, you've done it, you've passed on to the next thing to do. So and I would love to implore us as well, as much as we're learning this for our business, this is all encompassing. What is that habit that somebody mentioned, that to break a bad habit, don't concentrate on, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Instead, replace the bad habit with a good habit. That instead of, thinking, I don't want to, just do what you want to do instead of what you don't want to do. So replace the bad habits with something good. So when you have the cue that makes you reach for the bad habit, instead of reaching for the bad habit, this is what you do instead, right? So we're going to learn all of that as we go through this. Yes, that introductory story is so emotional. I don't want to read it again. I was like, what? I love the way he writes too. I agree with you, Irene. I love the way he writes. He draws you in. Oh my God. And to the fact that my babies are just, I have a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old. My daughter, she's a freshman in high school, and she's going into sharing, right? And of course, she will be in the football field and all of that. And then I was just going, I was just going through this story. And then, of course, that was baseball. But, it's the same down the field. So I'm like, oh, my God. So I just quickly renew my mind. No, that's not my portion. It was so emotional. Oh, my God. I can't even imagine, how I was almost tempted. I want to see a picture of how fractured brain, eye socket popping. Oh, guys, if you've not read, you got to read. Go and read and see. And then you come and see how he was able to come back from that. I love this statement that he made here. He says, at physical therapy, I practice basic motor patterns like walking in a straight line. This was after, during his recovery. He says, I was determined not to let my injury get me down. But there were more than a few moments when I felt depressed and overwhelmed. So why I highlighted this is, in your business, you have the goal. You want to reach a particular rank. You want to make a particular amount of sales. And it's 24th of the month. You're not there yet. You might feel depressed and overwhelmed. Not necessarily to the point of depression, I don't think, in business, but overwhelmed. You might feel overwhelmed, like, I don't think I can do this. Oh, how else? What else should I do? That feeling of overwhelm, I just want to remind you today, it's not, when you have that feeling should not pass the message to you that you are failed. Acknowledge the feeling and know that resolving your mind, no matter what, acknowledge the feeling and have that resolution. Quitting is not on the table. Period. Quitting this business, it's not an option on this table. So whatever I have to do, part of it is here. So I congratulate all of us here, 10 of us that are here. I congratulate you because these are the things you're stacking up on each other or one another so that you can be better at your business. And I know all of us have this testimony that each time we come here, you get another boost of energy. Each time you attend, like today's Women's Sports Wednesday. Today, I mean, that was amazing. If you were not there, you need to go watch it again. You know, the company is doing amazing, you know, providing amazing support for us for this business. Our team leads, they are doing what they know how to do to support us in this business. You know, you as a leader in your team, I hope you're putting in your best to support your people and leveraging support from, like, all of us here, we're not on the same, or not all of us are on the same team, right? And here you are leveraging on this support right here. So when you have that feeling of overwhelm, don't beat yourself up. Know that, be determined. It says, I was determined not to let my injury get me down. So be determined not to let any setback you might have to get you down. You might have your hopes up, like, oh, that person, they got back to me. Yes, they're going to sign up. They asked for my link. And then, you know, it's been crickets since the last time they asked for the link. They practically ghosted you, maybe. And then you feel like, oh, I thought that was it. I thought I made it with that. And I thought that was working, but now what's going on? Do not let whatever the setback may be get you down. The feeling of overwhelm will come. And when they come, dust yourself up and focus on those atomic habits. Now, you know, another thing that I noted here, there will be times that people will get, it's a monthly event, right? People get celebrated, for ranking up, for making sales, all of those things. Do not allow that to make you feel, that you're not successful if you don't get what you want, right? So basically, main thing, develop those habits that you do on a daily basis to get your success, or your measure of success. Your measure. Another habit that I started is, wake up. I've developed a very bad habit of not responding to alarms. Not just alarm on my phone, like to wake up. It does not alert me anymore. I recently realized that it does not alert me anymore. So I'm like, okay, no, this is not good. So in the mornings when, there are the alerts that wakes me up, initially I'll just snooze and just continue meditating in my bed. But now I've stacked another thing on top of it that gets me up immediately. And recently, the same thing happened without even thinking. I was up. I'm like, yes, I did this. So, but I'm still working on the microwave thinking, like it's still going to sound like 2 times before I catch myself like, yes, that microwave is done. So in this course, I want you to, in the course of the day, identify those habits you want to stop. Just mindlessly, surfing social media. Just mindlessly. And before you know it, 1 hour is gone. I have my hands up. Anybody? That got to stop. It's not, or you know, you're looking for inspiration, you know, all of that. But you have to now put time to it. I'm looking for inspiration, 10 minutes. Will I see inspiration or not? I get off. So some of those things, right? I'm out here, you know, outing my all of those things to you now, and I'm taking you as my accountability partner. I need you to do the same thing for yourself as well. Look at those habits regarding your business that you need to, the ones you need to break and the ones you need to build. And then in your personal life, I've shared a few examples with you. In my own personal life, those habits that you need to break and the ones you need to build, you know, all of those things. So we must endeavor to make this work, because this book is powerful. Amor, you raised your hand. Oh, I don't, Pauline, you're okay. She can't even hear me because the audio is not here. Let me talk to her. Pauline. Can somebody help me reach out to Pauline to see, because they might be thinking, and Amo too, they might be thinking something is wrong on our end, whereas their audio is not on. Please let me reach out to them in the chat. You know, so, okay, Pauline got her audio on. Good. Excellent. All right. So now, few things. That's an interesting icon I see there. All right. So here is saying, despite his slow recovery that affected his high school career in baseball, he said he still believed he could become a great player. He still knows he can do this. And he said, I knew that if things were going to improve, I was the one responsible for making it happen. So I want you to know this today. No matter where you are in this business at this time, in your career, in your life, things have to, I'm sure you're desiring that things improve. If that improvement has to happen, you are responsible for making it happen. You take responsibility. And for you being here today, I congratulate you, because this is you taking responsibility, knowing that you are responsible for making those changes happen. Now, he said how I learned about habits, right? He says, while his peers, one of the habits that he picked up is, while his peers stayed up late and played video games, he built a good habit to sleep, you know, a good sleep habit. So he went to bed early each night. If you have struggled, if things are going to improve, I was the one responsible for making it happen. I love the statement. Thank you, Irene. Yes. So that is it. If he knows that he has a goal, he knows what he's shooting for, right? But then he knows that for that to happen, for you to make your sales, there has to be things that those habits you need to build along the way. One of the things that he started with is sleep habits. He went to bed early each night. For you, how is your sleep habit? How is you improving on that going to impact your business? He said, in the messy world of a college dorm, I made a point to keep my room neat and tidy. And he said, these improvements were minor. And that is the powerful thing about it. There are little changes, minor changes that one can do that will go a long way in impacting, you know, your goal eventually. You see, he says, these improvements were minor, but they gave me a sense of control over my life. See the power of those tiny habits. He says, I started to feel confident again. And this growing belief in myself rippled into the classroom as I improved my study habits and managed to earn straight A's during my first year. So we know that this habit has a way of compounding. It has compounding effect that will get us to our goal eventually, right? So here it says, but it was not until this, let's see, when by his junior year, he said, I was voted team captain. And at the end of the season, I was selected for the all-conference team. So all of those things that he started to do, he started lifting weights on a weekly basis. Those helped him, to get a result on his physique, what he needs to be, because he built a good, confidence level by maintaining a neat and tidy room and having a good sleeping habit. He was able to, get recognized and got voted for team captain. He earned a starting role on the pitching staff, all of that. He said, but it wasn't until his senior season, that my sleep habits, study habits, and strength training habits really began to pay off. So what is that? There is 6 years after he had that accident. That was when he began to see the results. How many of us have been, have that, you've been in this shoe before? You've tried, you heard of something that if you do this consistently, is going to get you this particular result. And you started doing that, right? But then maybe you did it for a week. You're expecting some results. Like, I should have seen some results by now. And because you did not see the results that you were promised, that yes, if you do this consistently for some time, you will see. Maybe you were in a 5 days challenge, 10 days challenge, 30 days challenge, 90 days challenge. All of that happened, but you did not see the result that was promised at the beginning. What tends to happen is you now stop those things. After the 10 days challenge, after the 90 days challenge, you stop what you started with, forgetting that the people, the coaches that were getting you into the challenge is for you to be able to build an habit. Because they say an habit is formed if you're able to do something consistently for 21 days, I believe they say, right? It becomes part of you automatically. But because our mind was not in the habit itself, but rather on the results. At the end of the challenge, when the result is not there, we drop the habit. Whereas what those challenges are doing was supposed to get us to get that habit absorbed, so that by the time the challenge stops, you do not stop. We continue. It says 6 years before he began to see the kind of result he needed to see. And there was this analogy in chapter 1, I believe we're going to be looking at it, next week, about, when you see overnight successes, there are thresholds. It's just this book, oh my God, it's going to be transformational, believe me. So I implore us, make sure you read it. Make sure you read it. Here it says, he was saying citing all of the awards and things, the medals, the accomplishment that he had, right? And he says here, I never ended up playing. I never ended up playing professionally, but looking back on those years, I believe I accomplished something just as rare. I fulfilled my potential. Yes, it's the bomb. Every one of us, we have to read it. And there's something that I'm going to do to encourage us. So all you need to do is participate in the group, right? Make sure you do the reading. One of the habits that we have picked up, this is our 4th book, I believe, right? One of the habits that I believe we have picked up is the habit of reading. But how, even myself, I've not made it a daily thing, right? So right now, all of us that we're on this call right now, one of the habits we're going to make sure we build is reading a book. Now, even if it's going to be 5 minutes a day, pick up this book, read, and share what you learn in the group. Even if it's going to be 5 minutes. It's on YouTube. I was playing that audio earlier. The whole thing is 6 hours. we can listen to it all in a day. The whole thing is 6 hours. Just pick 5 minutes out of it, 10 minutes out of it, listen to it, read through it, and share what you learn. So that is an habit that all of us in the book club must develop daily consistent habits. And how to do that, we're going to learn as we go in this book. So he fulfilled this potential, and he said the concept in this book can help you fulfill your potential as well. We all face challenges in life. This injury was one of mine, and the experience taught me a critical lesson, and that is changes that seem small and unimportant at first will compound into remarkable results if you're willing to stick with them for not weeks, not months, but for years. We all deal with setbacks, but in the long run, the quality of our lives, I love this statement as well. The quality of our lives often depends on the quality of our habits, because the summation of your habits is your life. The summation of your habit is your life. With the same habits, you end up with the same results. But with better habits, anything is possible, no matter how small those changes are. He says, the only way I made progress, the only choice I had was to start small. So don't feel overwhelmed that, oh, I have to read a whole chapter a day. Read for 5 minutes, whatever that will do. If you commute to work, it's on YouTube, put it on, let it read. Don't commit to, don't take the, don't bite more than you can chew. And that's why this is so powerful. If you can consistently do 5 minutes, and then there are four formula, I think 4 steps to get to that. I think we're going to get to that next week. There are things, cues that will say it's time to read, right? And then you just pick it, read it for 5 minutes, and you're done for the day. Even if it's just that, just to check it out. Before you know it, those things will be automatic. That my microwave cue that I always ignore. I don't know what to attach it to get me stand up and go to get the food from the microwave, but I'm working on it. Right? He says, and then how and why I wrote this book. Now he wrote this book, right? But it did not start with, I want to write a book. And this method is how a lot of books were written. Even still written. People get committed to putting out blogs on a regular basis. And at the end of the day, somebody finds that blog and say, wow, you can put this in a book. Before you know it, they put it in a book, and they added few things, and it's now a book. So what you do consistently, the sum of it becomes what you can, showcase to the world, and the world can benefit from. And if you look at this, it says, I began publishing a new article every Monday and Thursday. And then you began to see subscribers, 1,000 email subscribers. And it grew to 30,000 at the end of some year. And it continues to grow that way. And he got noticed and began, got a book deal. These days we're forcing it, we self-publish, book in a rush, all of those things. But these little habits get you consistent habits. Of course, habits, saying consistent habits is tautology, because an habit is what you do consistently, right? So getting into the habit of doing these little things, it has a compounding effect that gets you quality result at the end of the day. All right. So that just two more things, and then I'll play that video. Small habits help him fulfill his potential, and definitely that's what we are here to get as well. In this book, he's going to share a step-by-step plan for building better habits, not for days or weeks, but for a lifetime. That's why, again, I congratulate you for being here. Because if possible, I want you to write down today's date and, describe how your life is. And at the end of this book, to go back to what you wrote, and I tell you, it will be a better year, as long as you commit to doing everything this book is saying. And I'm not saying after the end of the book, you drop those habits, because what we are saying is the challenge is going to be there for you to pick up the habit. But once you've built it, we have to stay with it for how long? Not for days, not for weeks, not even for months, not even for a year. It says for a lifetime. And before you know it, you will begin to see the compounding effect of all of that. So I'm going to switch it over now. I'm going to play that video. Let's watch. Oops.
By James. In this video, you're gonna get a summary of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. It is by far one of the best books I've read on habit formation, how to create new habits, how to break old unhealthy ones. I think you're gonna love it, so let's do it.
Sorry,
a large portion of your daily actions are driven by your automatic habits. Habits that have been formed through repetition over the course. In this video, you're gonna get a summary of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. It is by far one of the best books I've read on habit formation, how to create new habits, how to break old unhealthy ones. I think you're gonna love it, so let's do it. A large portion of your daily actions are driven by your automatic habits. Habits that have been formed through repetition over the course of your entire life. And naturally, there are healthy and productive habits that serve you and negative ones that work against you. In either case, you are what you repeatedly do, so you owe it to yourself to deepen your understanding of habits, how they work, how they're formed and broken, and how you can use them to create the best version of yourself. This is what Atomic Habits is all about, showing you how small adjustments can lead to a massive transformation in your life. If you make tiny 1% improvements to something on a daily basis in the course of just 1 year, you end up being 37 times better. Now that's huge. Imagine 37 times better health, or 37 times better finances, or relationships. Even a fraction of that will significantly transform your life, so let's dig into it. But before we get to how successfully form new habits, let's talk about your understanding of what success means. In the most common case, success is driven by the outcome, by the end goal. You do whatever it takes to acquire a certain amount of money, to look in a specific way, or date a specific person. And while all of that might seem perfectly acceptable and normal on the surface, it carries a lot of problems once you peel all the layers off. The main problem with goal-driven behavior is that it tends to ignore the process of getting there and just concentrates on getting the final outcome. By concentrating on winning a marathon, for example, instead of the systems and the habits of becoming a better runner, you inevitably put yourself at a disadvantage. After all, both winners and losers have the same exact goals. Everyone wants to win the marathon. Those who come out on top, though, are the ones who have been concentrating on the continuous improvements of their running habits not just winning that single marathon. Concentrate on improving your financial habits instead of buying the dream car, and you most likely end up buying it much sooner. Same way, concentrate on improving your dietary habits instead of obsessing about the six-pack, and you'll get those chiseled abs much faster. As the author puts it, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So let's talk about how habits are actually formed. There are generally 4 stages: the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. It goes like this. You work on a problem for school or a presentation for work, and you inevitably get bored. The feeling of boredom is your cue. You feel the need to entertain yourself, which is your craving. The response is you pull out your phone and check out social media or your email. The reward is that little tiny bit of distraction and entertainment you instantly receive. Checking your social media becomes associated with feeling of boredom and frustration. You repeat this enough times and you find yourself distracting yourself with your phone every time you find boredom. Sounds familiar? Now, let's learn about how to use the habit loop to your advantage to form some healthy habits. The 4 laws of behavior change are: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. You start by making the cue obvious.
I never thought a tea would change my life. March 2021, I'm unemployed, unemployable, and making zero.
If part of your New Year resolution was to go every day to the gym, but you never set a reminder on your phone or you never put it on your daily calendar, you most likely forget going more often than not. If you make that cue, that first step, super obvious, you stand a much higher chance of ending up at the gym. And the easiest way of making that cue obvious is a strategy called habit stacking. Attaching a new habit to an already existing one. You already have the habit of coming back from work and school, so stack exercise on top of that. Getting into the car or stepping onto the bus platform becomes your cue to head to the gym. You want to get into the habit of flossing? Stack it up on your hopefully already established habit of brushing your teeth. Putting down the toothbrush becomes your obvious cue to reach for the floss and get cracking. The next step is making the craving attractive. If the craving is not attractive enough, you have no motivation to engage in the wanted behavior. If going to the gym feels like a punishment, why bother? An effective tactic to use in this stage is something called temptation bundling. You can only watch your favorite Netflix show while you're at the gym, or you can only drink your favorite flavor of vitamin water only after you've completed the workout. By making it, I only get to enjoy X while or after I'm doing my desired activity, you make it exponentially easier on yourself to get things going much faster. So make that craving attractive. Moving on to making the response easy. If going to the gym requires you fight immense traffic, then you find parking, then you find a locker, then you change, then you book an elliptical machine, then you figure out the settings, and only then you get to actually exercise, you might be fighting an uphill battle. Making it easier on yourself by removing as much friction as possible is key to forming that new behavior. Anything that you can do to remove any of the required steps will ensure the likelihood of you sticking to that new habit. If you want to start running in the morning, for example, lay out your clothes, your shoes, your keys, your water, whatever else you might need the night before. This way, in the morning, you just need to roll out of bed, right into your running shoes, and by the time your brain has the time to say, "Oh my god, this is too hard, go back to bed," it will be drowned by the sound of your sneakers hitting the pavement. Making it easy also means not setting your goals extremely high. Instead of setting the expectation to run 20 minutes, set it up for 2 minutes. Instead of flossing all your teeth, set the expectation to floss only one. It sounds silly, but chances are that you'll do way more than that once you engage in the behavior. But overcoming that initial obstacles is usually the hardest, so set the goals low enough to actually set yourself up for success. And finally, make the reward satisfying. The easiest way to do this is to use reinforcements. Keep track of your successfully completed habits in a chart, in a calendar, your favorite habit tracker, it does not matter. When you visually see your accomplishment, you'll be motivated to continue acting in the same manner. Seeing your progress reinforces your identity of being someone who's healthy or someone who makes good financial decisions. And identity is the cherry on top of your behavior changing cake of awesomeness. It is that final and deepest layer of habit formation. If you believe you're a healthy person, your habits, processes, and outcomes will absolutely follow. Your goal is not to run 60 miles, but become a runner. It is not to read 100 pages of a book, but become a reader. The goal is not to quit cigarettes, but not to be a smoker. These might seem like little subtle differences, but they will completely alter the way you think and how and which habits you form. And now you know how to form new, healthy, and sustainable habits. Make the cue obvious, make the craving rewarding, make the response easy, make the reward attractive, and you'll be on your way in no time. Now, let's talk about how you can put all this knowledge to use for yourself. Hey, welcome back. So that was James Clear and Atomic Habits. As you can see, a phenomenal book with a lot of information. Now, how do you get to use it for yourself? Well, the easiest and most practical way for me is for you to figure out your current habits. Basically, to keep a habit scorecard. Because if you're not aware of your habits, whether they're the productive ones or unproductive ones, there is no way to change them. And the thing about habits, they're automatic. That's the whole point. It's automatic, it's subconscious. So you need to bring your awareness all the way out so you can figure out what the habits are before you can change them, eliminate them, improve on them, whatever the case is in your situation. So, habit scorecard. As you go through your day, whether it's at work or in your personal life, I want you to keep track of two things. One, the cues, and two, the rewards. As a reminder, the cues can be something like a smell or a conversation or a location. It's something that triggers your brain to look for a certain type of reward. Maybe every single time you open the fridge, you look for a cookie or for something unhealthy. Or every single time you get bored, you pull out your phone. Boredom is the cue, pulling out your phone is the reward. Figure out what the cues are, figure out what the rewards are, and then review your scorecard. You're gonna see a lot of unhealthy habits, you're gonna see a lot of healthy habits. And once you see all of this, armed with this information, you can make decisions. You can make decisions to improve your life based on the framework of Atomic Habits. But it all starts with awareness. Cues, rewards, keep a habit scorecard, maybe for a few days. It doesn't take, you don't have to do it for months upon months. Do it for a few days, review the results, you'll be blown away because it's gonna give you a better view of yourself. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but do it, trust me on it, do it, and you're gonna be blown away. And if you want more videos such as this one, reviewing some of the best books in habit formation, in self-help, in productivity.
All right. I know that was an amazing summary. I loved it when I got it, and I mean when I went through it. So I really loved it. So that's it. That's the summary of the whole book. So we know what we are getting into with this book. I tell you, it's going to be a transformation. A transformation. So that is it. We're going to start the chapters. Next Wednesday is the 31st. You know, all about closing and all of that. Madam Adioba, yes, I see your hand up. I'll come to you in a little bit, in a few seconds. 31st, I don't want to have to pull people out of what they're doing to close for the month. So we're not going to be here next Wednesday, but the following. So for those of us that will be, I have some people that have voluntold in the chat, and some of them have agreed. If you have not checked your chat, please do. I may have reached out to you that you help, with the review. So there will be unveiling. And if you're still wanting to volunteer, please let me know. Namesake, Omowumi Adioba. Mine is Omowumi, but yours is Omowumi Adioba. Yes, can we hear you? You raised your hand. Akiniroye, something like that. Do you want to say something? You can unmute and speak to us. All right, that might be an error. Okay, I'll take it as that was not intended to. They were not intended to do that. All right, I welcome you anyways. Welcome. Grace, mwah. I love that you're able to make it, and every one of you, mwah, 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 mwah. Embrace to everyone that was able to make it today. And all of you that have said yes to my invite to review a few chapters next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, our veterans, I didn't even ask you because I know you're down. Our veterans, they're going to be helping as well. So thank you for all the new people that are coming on board to help with the reviews and things. We are going to, you can tell I'm so excited for this book because it's going to show in our lives and we're going to see the effect in our businesses. It's going to be amazing. So till when is that? That will be September. I'm going to miss everybody, but that will be September 7th. So we have 2 weeks. We don't meet until 2 weeks because it's August 31st next Wednesday and closing and all that. We don't want to compete with that. So we leave that be. And in the group, the activities will continue. So for those that have agreed to help with reviews, I'm going to reach out to you in the chat. So please look out for my chat. And if I don't reach out to you, please do reach out to me and let me know that yes, you said yes. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. And I look forward to continuing the conversation in the chat, in the book club. If you're here, you're not in the book club. If you came on my invite, I sent the link to join the book club. So please click that link, join the book club, because that is where all of the activities are going to be happening. Yes, so let's do that. And then for others, if you're not in the book club, whoever invited you to this, please reach out to them and they will get you the link to join the book club. All right, I love you all. Have a wonderful and brilliant evening. And I'll see you on the inside. I have a new message, 2 new messages. Yes. Mwah. Diana, I'll have to go and rewatch this to go see that my body language that that you referred to. I would love to be in the book club. Yes, Amo, absolutely. Good night, Irene. Let me see. I can here is who invited you, Amo. Hopefully I'm saying that right. How did you get the link to join us tonight? Yes, Diana. Mwah. Good night. Lydia, yes, awesome. So please reach back out to Lydia. She will give you the link. Lydia is in the group. She will give you the link to join. I don't think I have your number. I will have sent it to you. And anyone that knows Amor, please send, yeah, if you know him or her, I'm not sure. We'll send the link to group. Okay, excellent, excellent. So thank you, everybody. All right, the unstoppable team. I feel unstoppable here because I know you guys, I'm sandwiched in between you all. Yes, yes. I love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful night, everybody. God bless you. Mwah.